Hey guys, in this video we're going to be learning probability. So what is probability? Well, it's just basically there's a formula to it. It is the number it's the number of possible outcomes, and that would be in the denominator of our fraction, and the numerator would be our desired outcome. Now, we can use this formula to solve many probability problems. Let's look at one. Let's say you roll a standard six-sided die. A standard six-sided die has 6 possible outcomes. That is because its possible outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We call this our sample set. Now, what is our desired outcome? Well, I never specifically stated a desired outcome, but let's say we randomly picked a random number, 1 through 6. Let's say we picked 3. 3 is just one number, so the desired outcome would be 1. Now, there's 6 numbers here, 1 number here, so 1 in the numerator and 6 in the denominator. The answer is 1/6. Now, the problems can get harder as well. Let's say we roll 2 standard six-sided die. Notice how I say standard, because sometimes in problems they can say unfair die. And in times like that, one number is weighted more than the other, so you can't just solve the problem normally. We'll get to it later. But let's get back to our problem. 2 standard six-sided die. How would we solve this? Well, one very simple method is to just draw a chart. The chart should consist of all the numbers and all the possible outcomes. Let's take a random box. Let's say we take this box. So we look at the numbers that it lines up with. It lines up with this 2 and it lines up with this 2. So it would end up being a 4. Let's take a look at this square. It lines up with a 4 and it lines up with a 3. So it would end up being a 7. We go on filling the whole box, and filling the whole grid, and then we can just look at a certain box to figure out what our probability is. For example, let's say the question states, what is the probability of rolling a sum of 12 on two standard six-sided die? So in this case, we would need to search for 12 on the chart. A neat trick to know is that 1 plus 1 is 2, and 6 plus 6 is 12. So basically, that is something you have to know in this. So that there's only going to be 1, 2, and 1, 12. And there's also some cool patterns in this. Add up these numbers, 3 and 3. Now let's add up these other numbers. These will give 4. Let's add up the next row. These will all give 5. And then it'll keep going on like that. And then after 7, it'll start going back down. Wait, whoops. Then 8, 9, 10, and 11. So this is how the chart should look in the end. Now, again, 12 only comes once, and 2 also only comes once. So, coming back to our question, 12, it only occurs one time. So we put a 1 in the numerator. Now, our denominator is all the possible outcomes. All the possible outcomes are all of these squares. All of these squares. Now, you should memorize that there are 36 of those squares. it becomes really handy sometimes. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.